So next up, this is going to be a short topic. I don't have a whole heck of a lot of information on this because there's just not a lot of information on this yet. What I can do is just kind of give you guys the bits of what's going on. And what's going on is the U.S. declared, or Donald Trump declared,
Yes.
which unfortunately means if he declares something, the U.S. declares something. As Christy said in the last topic here, when there's a new president, when there's a new prime minister, when there's a new leader of a country, a lot can change, and that can be our allies and who are actively our enemies. So, without further ado, the U.S. declared that Iran's Guard Force, make sure I say it right here, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is now a terrorist organization. And from what I've read, this is the first time that the U.S. has designated a part of another government as a terrorist organization.
Yep.
So this is historical. I, for one, think this is on the bad side of history now.
Yeah.
I can't say for sure how good, relative term, obviously, this branch of the Iranian government is, right? Like most militaries, they probably do some things that aren't following human rights guidelines. But I haven't found anything specific that really makes them look like a terrorist organization. So really couldn't find something. They've been a part of the Iranian government since 1979, since they more or less like defeated the last regime in Iran. And they're not quite the Iranian, I can say it right, the Iranian military.
Mm-hmm.
They are a different part of the military. They're the Revolutionary Guard, and what they do is they protect like the political system, like they protect like the government itself. Which I'm glad we don't have something like that. But it is a part of their government, right? This is how they run their government. And it really is. It's not like an opposition party kind of thing. It's not something inside Iran that's like fighting their government. No, it's part of the Iranian government. Mm-hmm. And we have declared part of the Iranian government, must I say it again, a terrorist organization. Yep. And I can't help but think this is part of this countrywide, not just like our countrywide. It's more than just ours, but like the Islamophobia that we have, right? It's really not helping us in any way. Mm-hmm. It's really dividing more and more of humanity, and the IRGC, for the abbreviation, they have said that there will be retaliation for this, for calling them a terrorist organization. So again, we haven't really done ourselves any favors, and that doesn't mean just really towards us, because we're not the only ones who have done this. Bahrain has also labeled it a terrorist organization, and Saudi Arabia, of course, we follow. Sorry.
In Israel.
And yes, I was about to go on to Israel on April 8th. So 7 days before again elected Israeli Prime Minister.
Bibi
Benjamin.
Netanyahu.
I'm sorry.
Were you about to say Bibi Netanyahu?
Bibi?
Bibi Netanyahu.
I was going to say Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah, he goes by Bibi. That's his friends call him Bibi, including Trump, which is really funny when he calls him that.
Oh, really?
Bibi Netanyahu, yeah.
I haven't heard that. That's really funny.
Really?
Yeah, actually haven't.
When Trump Jr. says he doesn't call him anything but Bibi, not even the Netanyahu or president, because he used to spend the night at their house and sleep in Junior's bed.
Really?
Yes.
I learn more and more every day. We're so lucky to have Misty. So, that said, on April 8th, Bibi Netanyahu tweeted in Hebrew that America's terrorist designation was the fulfillment of another important request of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So just let that sink in. So that's that. We are consistently, we as in the United States, because I know we're kind of internationally being watched right now. We have a few Canadians. I think we have someone from Ecuador in the chat, or we did for a little while. But the U.S. kind of follows Saudi Arabia and Israel, who both are, well, Saudi Arabia is fucking up Yemen right now, which I forgot to mention. Mike Pompeo blamed that on Iran.
Yes.
He has gone on the record, done an interview saying why Yemen is the way they are, or whatever. And I mean, if you don't know what Israel's doing to Palestine, then you really need to catch up, because they're committing just lists of human rights violations. They're it's an apartheid state. It's they're taking over settlements that were given to them back in the 40s. It's really against international law in a multitude of ways. But that's really all I have for you guys right now. Is just that Donald Trump declared Iran's Revolutionary Guard Force as a terrorist organization, and that's I think it's not good, because we're making an enemy out of someone who's not necessarily our enemy. So that's not good for us. That's not good for peace.
It's not. Did you Iran, when they heard that, within I think it was 48 hours, declared our military a terrorist organization with paperwork and lawyers and everything. Yes. So, I mean, the conservative war hawks of this country have been salivating over going to war with Iran for decades. Back in the 70s and 60s and 70s, if you look up pictures from that time, the women are on the beach with bikinis, doing their hair. You could see everybody's hair. All the women were, it was on track to become more egalitarian than this country was on track to become. And this is in the 60s. It was the big change that happened. Women who could wear a bikini to the beach now all of a sudden had to cover their hair. They had to, because it was Allah's law. And so much has happened since then, and it doesn't matter who was in the administration in Iran. The war hawks in this country want their hands in Iran. They want their hands. They cannot have a say. Either way, up, down, they don't get a say in Iran, and that really drives them bananas to not be able to control them. And I don't think the Iranian government is a wholesome, good, egalitarian government at all. But it's also none of our gosh darn business. It just isn't. If they haven't said, hey, America, we're about to bomb you, or if you do this, we'll bomb. They say things after we do. And I think that a smart, someone with a strategy about it would know that to get Iran to call our military a terrorist, you would have to call theirs. They had to know that was going to happen. That's the whole point. We had the deal with Iran that all these other countries that were independent of it said that Iran was following to the T, that they weren't doing anything that they weren't supposed to do according to this deal that we made them sign with the nuclear deal. And of course, you get a president who is more conservative or war hawk leaning, or fills his administration with war hawks. One of the first things they're going to do is go after Iran. There's so much more to that story than just this calling them a terrorist organization. But I do have to say that it does go down in the history books as the first time any country ever has declared another country's military, whether it's an independent military, like you said, a private, it doesn't matter. We've never called an organization of another government a terrorist organization or declared them that, because right now we have the war on terror. And it does sound like a headline, a cliche, it's an actual war on terror. And by declaring them a terrorist organization, we can now go after them under the War of Terror Act, or there's, I don't want to say what it's called and it be wrong, but they have a way now, instead of just saying, blah, 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 and hope they get mad. It was very smart in a maniacal, evil type of way to do that to them, because now they have a road that they can take. When this country and this country is trying to vote Congress back in, is trying to give Congress the vote, is what I'm trying to say, whether we go to war or not. That's the law. That's the Constitution in this country, that no president can declare it. Congress has to vote on it. And by everybody saying we want that to be Congress's job again, right after 9/11, a lot of laws changed, and I think each president that has come in has just kind of taken advantage that it was this way for the one before, so they would still kind of have that authority to declare war. And even if Congress put their foot down and said you cannot do anything without our vote, by declaring them a terrorist organization, they have a way in. I think that people should be concerned about this. It's pretty crappy, actually.
It is, and they passed that bill.
Yes.
To put that power back in the Senate's hand, and of course Trump vetoed it. It really shouldn't have gone to the president in the first place. But I mean, we don't always follow our own rules, right? Like international or nationally, we don't like to follow our own rules. We do things the easy way. It seems to, and I think we're better than that. I think we don't need to be like that as a country, but I think we need to. We really need to yank ourselves back and take a good look at where we want to go as a country.